Welcome back. How are you doing with your new longevity plan? Have you started putting these essential factors into practice? Hey, as you know, knowing what to do is not going to help you. There are a lot of geniuses who died too soon. People who knew what to do, but didn't do them. Thus, they suffered the consequence. The ultimate penalty, an early recall. Don't be a dead genius. That doesn't help anyone. Okay, here are the essential factors that we've covered so far. 1, movement all throughout your day. 2, allocating your life force to a purpose. Contributing your time and abilities to something that still gives you that zeal and zest for living. Number 3, finding gaps to downshift, to clear the adrenaline-like frenetic energy from your mind and body throughout your day and week. You have to flush it by finding gaps to downshift. And essential factor number 4, you ready? Confucius called it Hari-Hashi Bun, which instructs people to eat until they are 80% full. And there is a 2,500-year case study that proves it to be successful. So to this day, Okinawans in Japan continue practicing this Hari-Hachi Bun and are the longest living and healthiest people on the planet today. They have the world's highest proportion of centenarians. Confucius might have been the OG, the original gangsta with this wisdom, but others parroted similar instruction along the way. Ayurvedic medicine, dating back to the 4th century BC, taught, quote, you should fill 1/3 of the stomach with liquid, another third with food, and leave the rest empty. And it was written in the Zen book, Precautions to Observe in Zazen, written in 1300, which advised eating about 2/3 of your capacity. So, before we talk about why this works, we should talk about why these people had to hammer on this instruction and why you might struggle with this. You see, we are not wired for restraint, particularly when it comes to food. For tens of thousands of years, or hundreds of thousands of years, depending on when you want to start the clock, we didn't know where our next meal was coming from. So if we happened on a fig tree, we'd gorge ourselves and eat the whole damn bush. We were in constant panic of finding enough calories to sustain our life. Well, now we are surrounded by food. There's a restaurant, fast food joint, or convenience store on every corner, and we get these giant cheesecake factory-like proportions on every plate. And you have these 24-hour all-you-can-eat buffets. And your ancient wiring is still telling you to eat as much as you can. Here's the problem. Your stomach is elastic. If you stretch it, meaning eat beyond satiety and 100% of its normal capacity, it will stretch. Now, next time, it will take that much more to fill it. And that is how obesity happens. It's just overeating. The reason why the 80% rule works is it takes about 15 to 20 minutes for stomach receptors to signal satiety. When you feel at 100% capacity, you've already well past the 100%. And in about 15 to 20 minutes, you're gonna feel bloated. You've already stretched your stomach beyond the 100%. You have to compensate for this delayed signal. So when you are at 80%, put the food away. And trust me, in 15 to 20 minutes, you will feel satiated. You see, I grew up in the Bay Area of San Francisco when Rickey Henderson was on the Oakland A's. His nickname was Man of Steel because of the ridiculous shape that he was in and because he still holds the major league record for career stolen bases, runs, and leadoff home runs. I remember reading an article about his diet. It taught me a lesson I never forgot. When he was asked what his diet consisted of, to say in such great shape, he said, "It is not what I eat or don't eat. It is the portions," he said. He went on to explain, when you eat, you should only eat to kill the hunger pain. You're not eating food to try to stuff yourself. I think a lot of people stuff themselves, he said. We always feel that we have to clean our plate. We don't. I'd rather eat 5 or 6 times a day, just put a little something in your stomach, and then stop. End quote. Now, a big problem is most people's hunger satiety mechanism is broken. If you override your body's natural inclination to stop eating when it's had enough over and over, it sends that signal into a coma, and it can take a while to wake it back up. So here's what you do. According to dietitians, it will take about 15 to 20 meals to get your signal back so you can start the process of shrinking your stomach back to its normal capacity and easily then maintain it. 4 things to do here. Number 1, Eat more slowly. Eating faster results in eating more, slowing down to allow your body to respond to cues, which then tells you that you're no longer hungry. Number 2, focus on food. Turn off the TV, turn off the computer, put the phone down. If you're gonna eat, just eat. You'll eat more slowly, consume less, and savor the food more. Number 3, use smaller vessels. Choose to eat on smaller plates and use tall, narrow glasses. You're likely to eat significantly less without even thinking about it. And number 4, stop before you're full. Try to figure out when you are 80%. The best way to do that is to only put 80% of the serving on your plate. I'm not even gonna try to attempt to suggest that you fight your childhood programming. I mean, how many times did your mother tell you to clean your plate? Just put less on it to begin with. Even if you don't feel full, you are, and the feeling will catch up to you in about 15 to 20 minutes, I promise. Soon your stomach will shrink back to its healthy, natural size. Now, I could also suggest that you make sure that that 80% is filled with quality protein and rich nutrients that the body is desperate for so it can get what it needs for satiety, and not sugar and carb and starch-loaded foods. But let's just start simple here, okay? Start with what we know for sure for 2,500 years. Eat until you're 80% full. Darren Daily Community. Any other tips or tricks that you use to keep your body happy, healthy, and feeling good based on your eating practices? Feel free to share your thoughts and inspirations in the comments below. Oh, and hey, you're gonna love essential number 5. Not only will you be shocked by it, it will also release you of lots of guilt. Some good things in life are in fact good for you. Tune back into the next episode to toast this essential factor. I'll see you then.